Welcome to the world of Yoga Enchantress. I'm Latoya Maria, and I'm so excited to be back so soon. This flow and a little bit of a discussion is about honoring the wisdom of your cycle. Did you know that your cycle has 4 phases? And when I'm saying cycle, I mean your menstrual cycle. I remember being in school and learning about my period. I remember when I first got my period and I was horrified, but also excited. Lots of things were happening. But I do remember that it just so happened I was in health, PE, when I got my cycle, my very first period. And as I recall, I remember that there was no real preparation, and I mean in the education system, for the period. And obviously, you know how I feel as a woman who taps into the divine feminine and understands that patriarchy has no place for honoring the divine feminine. And so many women and young girls are not prepared for their menstrual cycle and are not prepared to understand that their bodies are a magical place and that they are deeply connected to the wisdom of nature and of the divine. So with that, most women and young girls only think that their menstrual cycle makes up when they bleed. And when you're in school, it's like, okay, you get a period, don't have sex, and here are some pads and some tampons for you. Foolish. So upsetting. And I mean, so many women don't even realize that their cycle is a beautiful exploration that happens continuously. It's not just when you're bleeding. So your menstrual cycle longs for you to tune in. It's where you'll be able to understand what's happening with your body, what's happening with your mind, your energy. It's your compass. It's just your compass. So when you're able to tap in, this is when I believe and trust that things will drastically start to shift in your life. I am here to kind of give you a little bit of bursts of information so that you can understand the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle. Phase 1 of your menstrual cycle is the follicular phase. This is the time your body is truly getting to work. The hypothalamus sends a signal to your pituitary gland to release a specific hormone that says to your ovaries, hey, let's get to work. Let's start producing these eggs. This is a time when you have so much energy, usually, okay? You'll probably feel more focused. You'll feel like you can take on the world, and this is your opportunity to do just that. It'll probably be a time when you feel most creative, and I wouldn't miss out on an opportunity to take on a new challenge. You can even work out a little bit more because your energy levels will be so much higher. Please make sure that you understand that this is the time where you have access, okay? Now, all phases of your cycle, you have access, but you have access to something innate in you to take on those challenges. This phase lasts about 7 to 10 days, depending on the woman. Every woman is different. Yeah, let me actually take a pause and say, yes, women's cycles tend to sync up. However, every woman's experience during her cycle is completely different. So please make sure you're honoring your cycle and take your power back and understand what's happening in your body. Phase 2 of your menstrual cycle is ovulation. Now, so many women know about their ovulatory phase, and they think of it as the time to get pregnant or not to get pregnant when they're trying to understand it. Listen, this is the phase where you have all of the flavor, okay? Your body temperature is usually a little bit higher, okay? At this point, you probably feel very sexy and in your power and just feeling very confident. You're probably glowing, your skin is probably clear. You just feel like, right? This phase tends to last about 3 to 4 days. Now, let's understand, when you're ovulating, this time is when you can get pregnant. please know it usually lasts around 24 hours, this time where you can get pregnant. However, it can extend depending on how busy you are. So this is a time where that matured egg has released and it's trying to get chose. Now, if your estrogen levels tend to be high, this could be a time where you're not feeling, or towards the end of it, your levels start to kind of go down, but that is because it's in preparation for the phase that's coming up. And during this time, stay with your connection to your divine power, and as a woman, really tap into how you're feeling. This is a time where you can really cue in, right? This experience of tapping into the power of creation at your root. So let's explore what's next. The next phase is a phase that so many of us know, the luteal phase. And when I say we know it, we tend to dread it if we do not honor the wisdom of our nature. Okay, this is when PMS happens. The hormone levels are going up and increasing and decreasing, and you may tend to feel like you're most low. Now, is that a reason for you to feel sad or to feel upset? No, this is the time for you to take extra care of yourself. Pay attention to how you are moving throughout your day and throughout your life during this time. Try not to take on too many tasks or too many responsibilities. Let your body rest. So the flow that we'll be exploring a little bit later will deeply support this phase. You want to slow it all the way down. You want to start taking on flows that are more restorative, and this is the opportunity for you to just be like, let me just nurture myself, right? Make sure you are honoring yourself during this phase. This phase tends to be the longest, about 10 to 14 days, again, depending on the woman. You want to make sure you're taking care. This is what I have an issue with. Society does not allow us properly to tune into what's happening, right? So if you have a job that requires so much of your energy, how can you properly honor yourself during this particular phase? How can you properly slow down? Well, I'm here to encourage you to say F you to all of what society expects of you and start honoring the wisdom of your divine nature. The final phase, the menstrual phase. This is the time when you are bleeding. So that super thick uterine lining that's been working up throughout all of the rest of the phase begins to shed. This is the time where I feel, to be honest, my most powerful. I really feel into my body, because if you are connected, you feel everything. Now, does that mean that it's always so beautiful? Not really. I tend to get hormonal migraines that suck. However, this is when I honor myself even more. You want to slow it way down. You want to be resting if you can. You want to be making sure you're drinking plenty of water, staying very hydrated. You're eating foods that are more nurturing. Now, I forgot to mention that in the luteal phase, you are probably going to get a lot of cravings. Sugars. I know, it's okay. But please make sure that you understand this is going to work against you. No judgment. But please know that you want to make sure you're taking in nutrients that are going to support you fully. Okay, so you want to eat more fresh fruits and veggies. You want to make sure that you're eating foods that are kind of higher in its quality, right? And during skipping forward or moving forward into the phase we're talking about, during your menstrual cycle, you definitely want to make sure that the food that you're eating is going to also support what's happening in your body. Now, again, this is a time where you want to slow it down, do more restorative, relax, sleep as much as you can, and just take it easy. Now, this, depending on the woman, lasts between 3 to 7 days. Again, it varies for each woman, and it also depends on what you are doing with your life. If you have any sort of form of birth control, of course, all of these phases will be impacted, but please know that this is a time for you to take it up a notch when it comes to self-care. Before we get into our flow that's going to support the luteal and the menstrual phase, I want you to know something. There are some things that you can do and some things that I love to do to support these two phases. I'm not going to go too deep into one of my favorite modalities, which is Chinese medicine and the meridians. And I have one of my favorite books, excuse me, which is Energy Medicine for Women. Love this book. It really was a game changer for me, among others. I'm going to extract two things from this book that I utilize to support me during this time. And when I say support me, support my energy levels and to comfort me and make me feel deeply connected to myself. So, one of the things that I love to do is the triple burner smoothie. Now, you're going to utilize this to get you in a more sedated and more comforted experience for yourself. And when you may be experiencing stress or anxiety, fear, this particular exercise really supports kind of calming you down. Now, it's simple. It takes about a minute or longer if you wanted to, but this is what you're gonna do. First, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and an exhale out. And then you're gonna take your hands and place them on the temples. And I want you to press into this space, and if it feels good for you, you can go around a few times and just breathe normally. And then allow your fingers to glide down and frame or cup the space behind your ears, okay, that bony part. Now you can press on this space and take a few breaths here. Notice how you're feeling. And then you want to allow your fingers to glide down the side of your neck. A little bit of pressure here. Let it go along the shoulders. You can even massage your shoulders if it feels good for you. And then allow the hands to go along the collarbone and then cross over your chest. I'm trying to avoid the mic. And here you just want to settle in. And take a few breaths. Allow yourself to feel into ease. And we're going to take it a little bit further. You're going to glide your hands down. Now, you want to have the left hand go across your body and the right. And you want your hands to kind of touch just at the sides, kind of where your bra level is. Now, this supports the spleen meridian as well as the triple burner. And I just want you to breathe into this space. And allow yourself to feel supported here. Notice how you're feeling. And when you're ready, slowly relax, placing your palms down. And notice if you feel any different. You can come to this at any time. Even now I'm feeling like, oh. You can come to this at any time. Actually, it doesn't need to just be during your cycle, but anytime your levels are feeling really stressed or too high, it can shift you back into homeostasis, back into a nice, calm space. Like, I'm ready for a nap. stick around and let's explore the flow. This flow is going to be more of a womb yoga. We're going to be doing some holds, right? You're going to need a few props. I've got some pillows, a blanket, I'm sitting on a cushion, I've got a block or two. Now, you can do this flow in your bed. I'm on the mat because it's just easier for me to kind of set up here, but you can do it in the bed. I actually, when I'm working with my clients, I show them this and then I tell them, do it in the bed when you're having your cycle. It's just so good for you. So meet me on the mat or in the bed. We're gonna start here, seated in a position where you are deeply supported. Have your knees supported with a blanket. If you are on the mat or if you're in the bed, you should be fine. You can also sit on a pillow if it feels good. I'm going to assume you started with the triple burner smoothie and the triple burner hug, which was a little bit of the tip or the exercise that I gave you at the beginning. If not, you can just take a moment here and just notice your breath. Notice your womb, even if you want to place your hand there and just to connect with your root. By all means, do that. Taking these depths of breaths, to support you connecting to the here and now. And then slowly crawl forward and come into tabletop position. And we're just going to take it nice and slow and just start making these circles, shifting your weight from the left to the right and back and around. Continuing to breathe deep. Closing your eyes if it feels good for you. And then go the opposite direction when you're ready. I'm not going to make you do anything, I never do, but I want you to feel into your body, so connect to your root. And when I say your root, I mean your womb space, your pelvic bowl. And then find stillness. You're gonna drop the belly, keeping the eyes closed. You'll tilt your pelvis, open out through the heart and look into the third eye. And then you'll curl the spine, bring the chin to the chest. And do a few more rounds of this. Go real slow. Do what feels good for you here. If you want your cat-cows to be more circular, and I mean by this, then do that if it feels good. And then we're gonna take it into a down dog. Don't be alarmed. It'll be a soft down dog, so the knees will be bent. And here, shift your weight from left to right, keeping the heels high and the knees soft. You just want to shift from left to right. And then bend the right knee and straighten the left leg. You can twist a little bit more if it feels good. And then we're going to crawl forward into Pigeon Pose. So bend the right knee and bring it to the front of the mat. If you want to support yourself here, I encourage you, grab that pillow and put it underneath your seat bone. And just hang out here, sway side to side and feel into what feels good in your body. Notice. Find some stillness. And then come onto the forearm. Breathing into the space of your hips and into the space of your pelvic bowl. If you want to take it further, you can grab another pillow and lay it all the way down and relax here. encourage you to take nice long deep breaths here. Don't rush. Allow your body to settle. Know that everything is absolutely okay. Honoring the wisdom of your cycle, you know that there are highs and there are lows, and they are all divine, and they are all you. If you want to stay a little bit longer, that's fine. Just pause the video. Otherwise, slowly come up, taking your time as you come up. You'll tuck the back toe and then lift into that softened down dog. Swaying side to side. No rush. Just noticing what's happening in the body. And this time you'll bend the left knee and keep the right leg straight and twist. And then take your time as you crawl forward into pigeon and set yourself up with your props. And once you find your comfortable pigeon, just gonna move around a little bit. I wonder if you can hear the kids outside. It's sundown here, or evening time in Dubai, so this is when all of the kids come out. And then slowly come onto the forearms and chill out here. Staying with the breath and allowing your breath to support you as you feel into your body and settle. And if you want to, you can rest on a pillow. Even a thicker one than this is fine. And just relax. This is your time to care for yourself and tend to your needs. Continue to breathe as deeply as is comfortable for you. Allow yourself this opportunity to feel nurtured. And see if you can find any release in your body. I invite you to stay a little bit longer if it feels good. Or come on up when you're ready. You'll tuck your back toe in, lift the hips, and come into a nice soft down dog. Again, shifting side to side. And then coming onto your hands and knees and inviting in this little bit of movement in your tabletop. Go the opposite direction when it feels good for you. Make sure you are deeply supported during this time. Put blankets around you when you need them, however you need them. And then we're gonna go into puppy pose, okay? So you wanna extend your arms out in front of you and start to melt your heart down to the earth. If it feels good, you can put a pillow under your head because we're not trying to like get into it. So we just want to feel supported. Breathe deep here. Allowing yourself to just let it all go. And then slowly, if you feel ready, come up, lift the elbows, okay? And if you want to, you can activate, but I want to encourage you to stay nice and soft. So you're going to melt down, and then keeping the spine arched, you'll send your heart forward, and then shift back. Come up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Exhale down. And when your next one, go all the way up and see how it feels to lower down. Now, stay in Sphinx pose here, placing your forearms onto the mat. Now, if you want to bring the cushion or the blanket up so that it's underneath your pelvic bone, I encourage that. And just notice how you're feeling here. If there's any sort of discomfort, kind of breathe into the space. Grab your pillow and kind of just lay down on the pillow. Hoping that my mic won't be disturbing this. So you want to lay down on the pillow and then bend your left knee out. And just relax here. You can even put more pillows underneath you. And take a few breaths. Again, this flow is perfect for if you're in the bed. Feel into this easeful state. Breathe into this easeful state. Don't rush anything, take it easy. And then slowly extend that left leg down. Come back to Sphinx just for a moment. Shift your weight in the hips side to side. See if you can feel any sort of difference. And then you'll turn the side and go to rest your left cheek on the pillow. And then bend your right knee out to the side. And hang out here. Feeling as supported as is possible for you. See how much you can release and let go. Soften out through the glutes. soften out through your root. And just breathe and let it all go. You can stay for as long as you need to. Otherwise, lengthen out that right leg and come back into Sphinx pose. And shift your weight from side to side and see how you're feeling. Now, tuck the toes under. Come back into tabletop position. And for this one, you're going to keep the toes tucked and shift your weight back into the heels. For the sake of direction, I'm going to turn this way. While you're here, you can open up the knees a little bit wider if it feels good. And if you want to untuck your toes, that's perfectly fine. Don't even worry about it. What you're gonna do is take the left hand up overhead and shift to the right. And let it be soft. You're gonna let your arm be soft as well, and just notice how you're feeling here. And then curl under, shift all the way around to the right, and let the right hand sweep up naturally. And again, shift down and around, and back up. Taking your time, going the other way one last time. And then coming back to the center, resting your hand in Yoni Mudra. And just breathe into the space of your womb. Now we're going to come into supported Balasana or Child's Pose. Love this. So you can get pillows, cushions, bolsters. I want you to be as comfortable as possible. I'm going to grab an extra pillow. I'll use these ones. I want you to feel as comfortable as possible. And this is a supported Balasana, Child's Pose. So you want to have the bolster, cushions, blankets, pillows in the space of your womb, right? Really gonna be supporting you while you're here. And then you're gonna take your block or a bunch of pillows and prop it up so that you are in this supported Child's Pose. I'm going to bring another one in. Yeah, that's it. And you're just going to hang out here. Oh, this feels so good. So while you're here, feel into what feels really good. You can maybe shift around a little bit. If you're on the mat, make sure your knees feel supported and comfortable. If you're in the bed, great. And just allow your inhales and exhales to be at the center of your focus right now. So as you inhale into the belly, feel the belly pressing into the supports. As you exhale, feel yourself melting even more. If it feels good for you to rest your hands fully on the floor and even tuck it in a little bit more, you can. You can put something underneath your arms if they're too raised. but just feel good and supported. There's no need to rush. You can pause this if you want to stay longer. I will encourage you to switch cheeks, so turn your cheek. And stay with your cheek turned about 1 to 2 minutes in each side. I'm speaking to you this way for the sake of recording, because I decided I didn't want to re-record, do a voiceover. Being lazy. I'm honoring the wisdom of my cycle. And I don't want to be doing more work right now. You can stay here for as long as you need. Otherwise, slowly come out. Isn't this such a beautiful setup? And then slowly, you'll find your way onto your back. We are going to come into a 5-point corpse pose. So, in order to get into this, if you're in the bed, great, just push your covers down and kind of like help them to support you. If you're on a mat, roll up your blanket, put it at the end of the mat, okay? Then take your bigger pillow. By the way, you can use the couch cushions if you don't have a bolster. So you want to take your bigger pillow or your bolster and place it underneath your knees for it to go underneath your knees. Okay? And then you want to have a pillow for your head. You want to lay down, and it's 5-point because you're kind of going to have like, you're not in a full kind of like reclined bound angle, but you're just kind of like softened, so it's like real knees are really soft, and you just kind of lay down. Let your neck, I've got this foam pillow, it's like going into the crevice of shaping my neck. And then just rest your hand on your womb space. Feel free to cover yourself if this is going to make you feel even more supported and comfortable. And then just take some deep inhales and exhales into the belly. Connecting to your body in a way that makes you feel really loved and nurtured. Notice what feels good for you here. Notice if you feel any sort of ease or release or just support. Thank yourself for taking this time. These are some of my favorite poses to come to during my cycle, when I need to just relax and be restored. Know that you are supported. You can stay in these poses longer if you need to. Allow yourself to feel into what your body needs. Honor the wisdom of your cycle. Give yourself a big I love you. A thank you and deep gratitude for the gift being a woman. Feel into the power that exists within you. How you are deeply in tuned and in sync with the Great Mother, Gaia. You are loved. You are worthy. Every single part of you is so divine. As you learn to honor your cycle, you'll learn that you are deeply intuitive, emotionally intelligent. You are unique. You are the chosen. I love you. Breathe easy. Be blessed.